Lecture Reason and Religion, Part 1. A sage called Narad went to another sage named Sanat Kumar to learn about truth, and Sanat Kumar inquired what he had already studied. Narad answered that he had studied the Vedas, astronomy, and various other things, yet he had not got no satisfaction. Then there was a conversation between the two, in the course of which Sanat Kumar remarked that all this knowledge of the Vedas, of astronomy, and of philosophy was but secondary. Sciences were but secondary. That which made us realize the Brahman was the supreme, the highest knowledge. This idea we find in every religion, and that is why religion always claimed to be supreme knowledge. Knowledge of the sciences covers, as it were, only part of our lives, but the knowledge which religion brings to us is eternal, as infinite as the truth it preaches. Claiming this superiority, religions have many times looked down, unfortunately, on all secular knowledge, and not only so, but many times have refused to be justified by the aid of secular knowledge. In consequence, all the world over there have been fights between secular knowledge and religious knowledge. The one claiming infallible authority as its guide, refusing to listen to anything that secular knowledge has to say on the point, the other, with its shining instrument of reason, wanting to cut to pieces everything religion could bring forward. This fight has been and is still waged in every country. Religions have been again and again defeated and almost exterminated. The worship of the goddess of reason during the French Revolution was not the first manifestation of that phenomena in the history of humanity. It was a reenactment of what had happened in ancient times, but in modern times it has assumed greater proportions. The physical sciences are better equipped now than formerly, and religions have become less and less equipped. The foundations have been all undermined, and the modern man, whatever he may say in public, knows in the privacy of his heart that he can no more believe. Believing certain things because an organized body of priests tell him to believe, believing because it is written in certain books, believing because his people like him to believe, the modern man knows to be impossible for him. There are, of course, a number of people who seem to acquiesce in the so called popular faith, but we also know for certain that they do not think. Their idea of belief may be better translated as not thinking carelessness. This fight cannot last much longer without breaking to pieces all the buildings of religion. The question is there a way out? To put it in a more concrete form, is religion to justify itself by the discoveries of reason, through which every other science justifies itself? Are the same methods of investigation which we apply to sciences and knowledge outside to be applied to the science of religion? In my opinion, this must be so, and I am also of opinion that the sooner it is done, the better. If a religion is destroyed by such investigations, it was then all the time useless, unworthy superstition, and the sooner it goes, the better. I am thoroughly convinced that its destruction would be the best thing that could happen. All that is dross will be taken off, no doubt, but the essential parts of religion will emerge triumphant out of this investigation. Not only will it be made scientific at least as any of the conclusions of physics or chemistry, but will have greater strength because physics or chemistry has no internal mandate to vouch for its truth which religion has. People who deny the efficacy of any rationalistic investigation into religion seem to me somewhat to be contradicting themselves. For instance, the Christian claims that his religion is the only true one because it was revealed to so and so. The Mohammedan makes the same claim for his religion. His is the only true one because it was revealed to so and so. But the Christian says to the Mohammedan, certain parts of your ethics do not seem to be right. For instance, your books say, my Mohammedan friend, that an infidel may be converted to the religion of Mohammedan by force, and if he will not accept the Mohammedan religion, he may be killed. And any Mohammedan who kills such an infidel will get a sure entry into heaven, whatever may have been his sins or misdeeds. The Mohammedan will retort by saying, it is right for me to do so because my book enjoins it. It will be wrong on my part not to do so. The Christian says, but my book does not say so. The Mohammedan replies, I do not know. I am not bound by the authority of your book. My book says, kill all the infidels. How do you know which is right and which is wrong? Surely, what is written in my book is right, and what your book says, do not kill, is wrong. You also say the same thing, my Christian friend. You say that what Jehovah declared to the Jews is right to do, and what he forbade them to do is wrong. So say I, Allah declared in my book that certain things should be done, and that certain things should not be done. And that is all the test of right and wrong. In spite of that, the Christian is not satisfied. He insists on a comparison of the morality of the Sermon on the Mount with the morality of the Quran. How is this to be decided? Certainly not by the books, because the books, fighting between themselves, cannot be the judges. Decidedly, then, we have to admit that there is something more universal than these books, something higher than all the ethical codes that are in the world, something which can judge between the strength and aspirations of different nations. Whether we declare it boldly, clearly, or not, it is evident that here we appeal to reason. Now, the question arises if this light of reason is able to judge between inspiration and inspiration, and if this light can uphold its standard when the quarrel is between prophet and prophet, if it has the power of understanding anything whatsoever of religion. If it has not, nothing can determine the hopeless fight of books and prophets which has been going on through ages, for it means that all religions are mere lies, hopelessly contradictory, without any constant idea of ethics. The proof of religion depends on the truth of the constitution of man and not on any books. These books are the outgoings, the effects of man's constitution. Man made these books. We are yet to see the books that made man. Reason is equally an effect of that common cause, the constitution of man, where our appeal must be. And yet, as reason alone is directly connected with this constitution, it should be resorted to as long as it follows faithfully the same. What do I mean by reason? I mean what every educated man or woman is wanting to do at the present time to apply the discoveries of secular knowledge to religion. The first principle of religion is that the particular is explained by the general by the more general until we come to the universal. For instance, we have the idea of law. If something happens and we believe that it is effect of such and such law, we are satisfied. That is an explanation for us. What we mean by that explanation is that it is proved that this one effect which has dissatisfied us is only one particular of a general mass of occurrences which we designate by the word law. When one apple fell, Newton was disturbed. But when he found that all apples fell, it was gravitation. And he was satisfied. This was one principle of human knowledge. I see a particular being, a human being in the street. I refer him to the bigger conception of man, and I am satisfied. I am he is a man by referring him to the more general. So the particulars are to be referred to the general to be more general, and everything at last to the universal, the last concept that we have, the most universal, that of existence. Existence is the most universal concept.